no rest for us. Won't you hit this road with me, shawty? You can stand up in the sunroof, let your head down, let the wind hit your face, and just breathe, breathe, breathe.
Everything, but everything was never enough. My heart, my soul, the good, the bad, all that I am, everything.
What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, family? I hope everyone's doing well. What's going on, future grandchildren? I'm voiceovering today because I had some issues with my mic as I was trying to collect my thoughts and kind of share that with you. So I apologize for the mic issue. I was having a conversation with a buddy the other day, and we were talking about how big his bike was in comparison to his a bike he already has. Basically, he has a soft tail, and he has a larger bike. And he was telling me that, you know, one of the things he was having to get used to was the size, especially when making turns and basically handling the bike. I gave him some encouragement in regards to riding his bike. I basically told him, you know, you got to get out there and practice, you know, get comfortable with it. You know, you spent all this money on it, you know, you might as well ride it, right? So, you know, I'm encouraging him and even making plans to ride with him because, you know, it's a nice bike. You know, he's got a nice touring bike. So I just was saying to myself, I wonder how many people actually prefer smaller bikes. I mean, we could talk about anything smaller than a Honda Goldwing or Indian Pursuit or a Road Glide, Street Glide, any of the bigger baggers, anything smaller than that. You know, Fat Boys, Soft Tails, Lowrider ST, which is my second bike. And, you know, this, you know, what is the appeal? Not really sure who it was who said this, but it was a smaller bike, a Lowrider ST. I was looking on YouTube, and the individual was saying that he liked it because it was smaller, you know, as an older male. And I want to say he was upper 60s, early 70s, and he was speaking about the size of the bike in comparison to his Road Glide that he traded in for this bike. He wanted the same power, which was a 117, but just something a little bit lighter as he got older. And that was what appealed to him regarding the bike. You know, the Lowrider ST came with saddlebags, and my personal Lowrider ST, I even got a Rick Rack bag for it. I got a sport pack or a tour pack for it. So, I mean, when I purchased my Lowrider ST, that was my appeal. As I was beginning my touring obsession, basically, you know, I love to get out on the road. I like to ride anywhere. But as I began touring, I saw that Lowrider ST, test rode it and loved it. I think it was because it was my first touring bike ride, or rather, it was my first sports cruiser touring bike. I really don't know what to classify the Lowrider ST. Listen, I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert. It's just something that I like. This channel, I'm trying to do really for newcomers and returning riders. However, this is also a channel for those senior riders to give us pointers, because, you know, we don't know everything, and I'd like to really pick your brain or have you join the conversation. So tag in. Why do people seem to like the smaller bikes over the bigger bikes? What's crazy now is, although I love my Lowrider ST, I love getting it out and riding it around and, you know, zooming up the road or highway, I can't stop riding my bagger. I love my bagger, the comfort of my bagger, my stereo system. You know, the windshield goes up and down, blocks the wind when I get too much. I mean, it's just one of those things that I prefer now. In regards to the Lowrider, I don't think I would choose to go on a long trip for, you know, without a reason, without, you know, jumping on the Indian. But that's not to say I wouldn't take the Lowrider somewhere. It's just simply saying that if I didn't have a real reason to go over the road, or if I just didn't feel like it, you know, I'm going to take the Indian most every time, because it's a bagger, it's bigger, it's more comfortable. But having ridden it over 15,000 miles in 1 year to, you know, Phoenix and back to Georgia and, you know, cities in between, I got to be honest with you, man. You know, it's easy to whip that bad boy around, but I've gotten used to now whipping the Indian. I think that's the point of why I told my friend to get out and practice. Once you get used to it, you really just can't, it doesn't even, it's second nature to you. It's like breathing. I remember riding with my friend, in his car, right? And he was just about to go home instead of dropping me off. And I was like, yo, go to my house. You know what I'm saying? And I make that point to say it was muscle memory for him. We've all done that, right? And this just happened a couple days ago. We've all done that. So I feel like if you get on your bigger bike, practice a lot, it wouldn't be no problem for you. It'd be like muscle memory. Think about how many times you got behind the wheel of a car after a long day and you just ended up at home and you're like, how'd I get here? It's muscle memory. It's the same thing, man. Get on that motorcycle, be consistent, practice, learn your balance, learn your friction zone, and just do what you got to do. If you got a bike that you may think is too big for you, really, I don't believe there's too many bikes out there that are too big for you. Well, maybe with the exception of the big Boss Hoss, the big Chevy engines they be having in them jokers, or whatever size engine, big car engines. Those are big boys. So I will give you that. Listen, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share. Definitely comment. I like to hear what you have to say in regards to this topic, especially the senior riders out there who may be peeping in on us. I appreciate that. Also, keep in mind, if you have not subscribed, it doesn't cost you anything. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for us. This whole video thing when YouTube came up because my son came up with this concept and this idea. He's only 14 years old. This whole thing is his idea. Who would have thought it gave me a way to get things off my chest? I appreciate it. Listen, if you got a bike in your garage, pull it out, dust it off, gas it up, and enjoy the ride.
I guess that's life in the big city, huh? They say there's no rest for us. Won't you hit this road with me, shawty? You can stand up in the sunroof, let your head down, let the wind hit your face, and just breathe, breathe, breathe.